Hello, welcome to Connie Talk, and this is Connie Lang. Today, we're delighted to invite Dean James Olson to come to the interview. Thank you, James, for accepting our interview.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. James is the Dean of the Faculty of Applied Science at the University of British Columbia and is also a professor of mechanical engineering, a triple alumni of UBC. Dean Olson is here with us today to talk about how UBC and also the Faculty of Applied Science is pushing the boundaries in terms of research, technology, and education. And let's welcome James.
Well, thank you, Connie.
Well, thank you. Well, as a UBC alumni myself, also from engineering, like having the dean to come and speak for us, for me, is definitely a very good privilege, and I feel very honored. James, can you share what brings you to Hong Kong and also your team to Hong Kong? And I heard that there's a good numbers of UBC engineering graduates in Hong Kong. So would you mind to elaborate on that? Actually, not only in Hong Kong, but also in China, right?
Yes, certainly. I mean, first of all, UBC has so many alumni. We have 400,000 alumni now in almost every country in the world.
Yeah.
But really, Vancouver and Hong Kong have always had a special tie.
Yeah, very strong tie.
Indeed. Really what we're here to engage with our alumni, to meet with them, to really strengthen that community of alumni that we have here in Hong Kong.
Right.
Your alumni network is maybe your strongest personal and professional network that you have.
For sure.
There's incredible people who've graduated from UBC who are here in Vancouver, and we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to get to know each other, to engage with their alumni.
So particularly from the angle of the engineering, I mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you're a UBC triple alumni in engineering.
Indeed.
Would you mind to elaborate on that and share more of your background with us?
Yeah, no, happy to. So absolutely, I was a young high school graduate who came to UBC, went to UBC. I actually didn't start in engineering. I started as a student in science. I took physics, and so I completed my bachelor's of science in physics. And then I realized actually near the end of my physics degree that I really had a love for creating things and building things and for designing things. And so I knew pretty strongly that I wanted to go back and do an engineering degree. So I transferred my physics degree into the engineering physics program.
Oh, the most difficult subject.
Took me another 2 years to get my undergraduate, but I think it was the best thing I ever did in getting my engineering degree. And then I went off, I worked for a couple of years, I came back to the university to do my PhD, and I did my PhD in chemical engineering. I again went off and worked for a few years in a private industrial research center, and then came back to UBC and got a job as a professor in mechanical engineering.
Wow.
So one of the things that speaks to is just how engineering transcends disciplines. I started in engineering physics, went to chemical engineering, now I'm a professor in mechanical engineering, and it just talks to just how easy it is to go from one type of engineering to another. And so I think we see that in many of our graduates. So anyways, I'm thrilled to be a professor in mechanical engineering. I'm celebrating my 25th year in that position, and I've spent maybe the last 7 years. It's really been my honor and privilege to be the dean of the Faculty of Applied Science, which is broader than engineering. Both my son graduated from chemical engineering from UBC,
really?
and my daughter graduated from mechanical engineering from UBC. So I know what it's like to not only be a student at UBC, but also what it's like to be a professor and what it's like to be a father of a student at UBC. So I've got the full picture of life at UBC, indeed.
Hey, come to think of it, not too many female students in mechanical engineering, but your daughter graduated from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we have more and more women are now graduating from engineering. We're about 31%.
Wow, that's
this
higher
year
than
in
my
first year.
time.
Yeah. We're above the national average, and
the average is around 20%, right?
A little more than, like I think around. A little bit more than 20%, but not far from that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we're it's much more of a diverse group coming through engineering these days.
UBC ranks 41st in the world. So in terms of research development and recruitment, I think with the good alumni interaction with the world can also enhance UBC's name, right? So how do you think about that?
Yeah, we always say, oh, we don't care about rankings, but what I can say, what I can say is that, when I started as dean, UBC, the QS subject rankings would have ranked UBC engineering 70th in the world. And 2 years ago, QS ranked us 36th in the world.
Oh, good.
Last year, we were 33rd in the world.
Very good.
And this year, we're 25th in the world.
Is there any particular discipline that is catching more attention, or?
I think there's a number that are really incredibly, well, I think all engineering is incredibly impactful, from environmental engineering to mechanical engineering. But what we have done is we've created a brand new school of biomedical engineering. It's been, which is in partnership with our Faculty of Medicine, so it has a very strong connection to clinical research and clinical medicine. And being a very new biomedical engineering school, we've had an opportunity to hire really some of the very best and brightest new young scientists and researchers in the world, with a focus on cellular and molecular therapeutics, really the cutting edge of biomedical engineering. And so that's one of the advantages of being one of the newest biomedical engineering schools in the world, is we're also one of the most modern biomedical engineering schools. So
biomedical, that actually becomes cross-discipline. How do you see the integration of different disciplines together to get problem solved? How do you see the development in this arena?
I think the world is an incredibly complex place.
Yes,
and it's becoming more complex. And there are many grand challenges that we all talk about. Maybe one of the best articulations of grand challenges is from the UN Sustainable Development Goals, right?
Yes,
the SDGs, or
yeah,
maybe one of the best articulation of just how big and how complex the challenges facing the world, locally and globally are. And so I often speak about the two challenges facing humanity being climate and human equity. If you think about it for a while, what you realize is that in fact those two challenges are closely related and in fact intertwined, because we know that human equity or human inequity is exacerbated by crisis. In 2021, we had what we call a heat dome go through the interior of the province. For a northern climate, we had temperatures reach 49.6 degrees Celsius.
I was surprised. Vancouver always has the best weather. How can ever temperature go up to 40?
How could it go to 49.6?
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
It's, we as engineers, of course, we talk about a 1 in 100-year event. Sometimes we talk about a 1 in 1,000-year event. 49.6 degrees would be statistically impossible at that latitude.
Exactly.
It's unprecedented by 4 degrees Celsius. And
exactly.
But what people might not know is that that heat dome was also Canada's deadliest weather disaster. 600 people died on that weekend. And the people who died were, of course, the most vulnerable and the most at risk within, most at-risk people. So you realize that climate and equity are intertwined into a truly wicked problem. So it gives you a sense of the scale and the sense of the complexity of the challenge that are facing the engineers that we're trying to graduate today. What we're doing at UBC, and one of the really unique and powerful things about applied science at UBC is that we're not just engineering. We have a school of community and regional planning that focuses on community-engaged policy and policy development and implementation. We have a school of architecture and landscape architecture that is a world-class design school, a creative design school that focused on how do you mitigate climate change, how do you build an adapted world for climate change. And we also have a school of nursing. The nursing faculty has specific expertise on impact and safeguarding the most vulnerable populations within a community. The new programs that we're creating are really focused on that kind of integration. It's more than, I would say, the old-fashioned concepts of interdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary used to be, have a chemist talk to a physicist as an interdisciplinary, but we're really talking about policy, design, and technology, and those skills and competencies together into the next generation of professional. We're creating a building project we call Applied One. And we call it Applied One because it means bringing together the elements within the Faculty of Applied Science into one location.
Yeah, that's so difficult of a task, I can say.
And so we're creating this building project to have a co-located design school, a co-located policy school, a co-located science and technology school, really bringing our architects, our our planners, and our engineers together so that they can co-teach, they can create research programs that are spanning policy, design, and technology with a focus on, how do we really tackle the incredible challenge of climate inequity.
So what would you like to say to our audience about UBC, and what's your vision for, say, integration between Asia and also Canadian education?
Yeah, well, again, maybe I would just invite people to come to UBC, to look into some of the exciting new programs that we have, not just in applied science, but really across the entire university. It's an amazing place. It's got very close, like we already touched on, it's got incredible close ties to Hong Kong, to China.
Yes.
But Vancouver's an incredibly multicultural city.
Yes,
we have close ties across the entire world, right?
Yes.
Whether it's in India, or whether it's in the Middle East, or whether it's in South America. It's very much a global city.
Right.
It's a safe city. It's a wonderful place to live and to study and to work and to raise a family. It's a wonderful location, and I would invite I invite you back, and I invite the world to come.
I would always like to come back and visit anytime.
I look forward to seeing you in Vancouver.
Yeah. Should. So thank you very much. Yeah,
you're very welcome.
I think the
My
interview...
pleasure.
So thank you very much for watching our show. Yeah, we hope you also enjoy learning more about how a very good education institution has been integrating different disciplines and develop new programs. I think it's a very good role model for us to learn from. So hope you also enjoy that. And until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.